At the corner of 8th and Cass Street in downtown Traverse City, you'll find the Old Town Playhouse, and this is the Stage Door. Hello, and welcome to Stage Door for May 2013. I'm Don Kilmore. Today we have a limited show. We're talking about An Ideal Husband, which is our last main stage show, our last show of the entire 2012-2013 season. We'll be talking about the good on paper. We have our tech corner, of course, but we'll also talk about the elephant in the room, and that is an audition on May 2021 for a play that opens in October. So here we are on the main stage of the Old Town Playhouse. This is the An Ideal Husband set, Oscar Wilde's. It'll go up this month, or is up this month, depending on when this plays. We are here with Jeanette Mason, who is the director for Les Miserables. Coming up in, it'll
First week
perform
in October.
First week in October. Now, the reason why she's here now is we have a special case. We're auditioning Les Miserables May 2021. Jeanette, thanks for coming here. First of all, you've been with the Playhouse for quite a number of years.
Oh, they call me a veteran.
Okay.
Which just means I've been here since 1971.
And tell us why we're doing this audition this early.
The show goes up. The season for Old Town Playhouse has just shifted a bit. And so since it was decided that they would put the show up the last week in October, we're rehearsing in August and September when everybody still wants to play outside. So to get people who might be gone, get the cast members chosen in May. We will not be rehearsing full tilt until August, but that allows us to have my wonderful vocal director, Diane Clark, work with the leads. You've worked with Diane, and
right.
You know what a powerful teacher she is.
Very good.
And she's the vocal director, but she shares that, or her assistant is Mel Stoll, and she's new to the theater. Mm-hmm. So that's nice to bring in somebody new.
So we have, we're going to be auditioning May 2021. Now what I like to do is tell everybody, no experience necessary, come on down, volunteers wanted. Of course, it's always backstage, and we'll need some backstage people for this one, I'm quite sure. But what are you looking for in audition performances for this? I would imagine Javert, the lead roles are going to be, you better have some chops. But where can we get into this as a performer?
The first and foremost thing that I will be looking for in casting this is vocal quality and vocal range, because it's a sing-through. It's an operetta, if you will, and where the plot moves forward in terms of the recitative, when they kind of sing-talk, and then the arias are where we hear I had a dream. No, what is that? I dreamed a dream that Fontaine sings. That's mm-hmm. a standalone song. So first of all, one of the things that will go on the Les Mis website that will be linked with the Old Town Playhouse official website and your website. So vocal quality, I would love to find people who could also act, but in this case, I will train the actors. Voice right. hits first. Then a degree of movement. There are only two actual dances, Master of the House and the Wedding at the end, where there might be couple dancing or line kind of dancing. And Master of the House they're all in a drunken funk. So, that's not so essential. But what is essential is that that the people have a sense of rhythm. The old Les Mis walk, one step forward, back, 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 forward, so that it looks
Right.
like you're marching forward. And there's a lot of scrambling. There will be ladders, and which I think they'll look like ladders. This is an aside, but I want to tell you that we are so lucky to have Matt McCormick, who is a longtime Old Town Playhouse veteran, who is working in North Carolina as a full-time set designer. We got a grant for Matt to come and help us with the finishing touches on the set. He and I will be Skyping with each other to share set ideas and diagrams that we can do.
For the benefit of the audience, the Ideal Husband set was done by Matt McCormick, and it's gorgeous. It is just gorgeous. So, how many people are in this? How many do we need to rally to get auditioning here?
I just wrote that down. 21 men, 19 women, and 5 youth, and I prefer them to be over 10.
Okay.
It has some adult language and adult themes that I think if I had a child, I would not want them to witness it.
Right. What about audition or rehearsals during the summer? I know a lot of us take the summer off because we're here in
Yes.
Traverse City. What is the expectation for not so much leads,
The
but
leads
even then?
will work on an individual basis, setting up their own times with Diane Clark. We'll meet as an ensemble or company. Company is everybody. Ensemble would be like Act 1, in which happens the work song, and then Fontaine's dream song, and when Javert realizes he's free and he's ready to go and change his life. So that's an ensemble. So all the people who would be in that would come that night, and it's Wednesdays throughout the summer. We start in full-fledged rehearsals in the last week in August, and pretty much go 4 to 5 rehearsals, which gives us, I think, 45 rehearsal times before we open.
If we had vacations during the summer, we already schedule them, and a lot of people buy their tickets early and stuff. It's imperative that you come to as many rehearsals in these ensemble rehearsals as possible, but if you're significantly gone, do we have a number of significant? Do we have one that one can miss? Is there some sort of...
I can tell you that.
Okay.
Jean Valjean, Javert, Cosette, Marius, Fantine, Eponine, Thénardier, Madame Thénardier, and I don't speak French, Enjolras, I think is how we pronounce his name. They don't get vacations in August.
No, I'm talking about June, July.
Oh yeah,
You know, those-
that's fine. If they miss one of those Wednesday
right.
rehearsals or 2 of those, we can survive. But be that as it may, the leads will probably need that time.
Right.
And because it's a sing-through, even though we'd be doing, say we're rehearsing the chorus primarily, at least one of the leads comes in and has a solo or interaction.
And it's a long performance schedule. We're usually do 4 weeks. This is going to be 5 weeks of performance, all of October and then into November.
Performance, yeah. Yes, which is one of the hardest aspects of this, because all of August is, while we can use the stage at night, the building and constructing of the set is tricky to work in there because the main children's theater productions are on that. Not impossible. You know, some of it we'll rehearse at the depot.
Right. We always work it out somehow. Seems it always works that way. So show me your shirts. You have some.
Now, I have seen Les Mis 15 times. I know it's hard to believe, but I worked in Switzerland from, 85 to 88 or 89, I'm not quite sure. And they opened in 85 in London with Colm Wilkinson and Patty Lupone. So I think I probably saw it a year after it opened, or maybe 2. But anyway, I have somehow saved my original Les Mis shirt.
Right.
Can you see the gal? I think
we can.
This is the one we'll be using. The girl is the one we'll be using. And then on the back, that says Les Mis. Now, I had one made for me to kind of advertise. So it's got the logo on it. And then
All right.
when it starts, October 2013.
So if we're wearing one of these when we come to auditions, we get a better chance of getting in?
Oh, not if you can't sing, honey. And I guess I want to say this. If, the quality of voices is important, but I think, you should go ahead and take the chance and audition, because not only will there will be 16 measures of song that an auditionee will come with, and if they've got music, they should bring that for Paulette to play. And if they don't have anything prepared, we usually have a bunch of songs ready. But in that 60 measures, I know it sounds like it's so small, but you need to pick a section that will best show off your quality and even some range. So you can start anywhere in a song to show this, and of course you can use one from the show. You can go into the website and we will have the ranges. So Valjean is a tenor, Javert is a high baritone, low tenor. And I only know that because my vocal director told me that.
So just to recap, I guess we'll get you on your way. I'll get on my way. Brittany's getting anxious now. May 2021, 7 o'clock on main stage?
That's correct. 2021 and the 22nd are the
callbacks.
Callbacks. So try and appear on the Monday or the Tuesday.
Right. And you only need to come once, and then if you're called back, then you come back the Wednesday. Okay.
You can come and watch the second night, but I will always do the newbies before I go back and listen to some of the people I've heard the night before.
Right. Sounds good. Jeanette Mason, thanks very much.
Thank you very much.
Here we are in the green room, the Old Town Playhouse, talking with Denny Don Hunting, who's the stage manager for our current production of
An Ideal Husband.
An Ideal Husband. That's right, an Oscar Wilde piece. So, Denny Don,
yes.
You are, if I may say, one of the old guard in the Playhouse. So, what you've been here 20 plus
years.
Okay. Yeah. Why? Why 25 years? How have you been here so long?
It's an addiction. I love the theater. I love being around it. I came in because I wanted to act, and I found out they wouldn't put me in every show.
Huh.
Yeah.
With a talent like yours?
Yeah.
Huh.
So I said to myself, what else can I do that would get me into the theater and close to the stage? And so I started as a stage crew, and I worked. I've done just about everything but box office.
Okay.
I've done costumes, I've done producing, I've done, and I'm directing in the past few years here. I started directing about 10 years ago. And stage managing, I love to do. I love it. It's a nice organizational thing, and you're really close to the stage, and you're close to the whole process from auditions right to closing the night. Oh no, more than that, right through strike.
Right through strike. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, strike. That wonderful day when you take it all apart and put it away and leave a better stage behind you when you close
Right.
the door. Yeah. So, but my first director said, "You've got the fever, and sorry, you're just probably never going to get over it." And she was right.
So you have, just what I like to do is tell people that no training necessary. We provide anything, so come on down, because
Yeah.
we are a volunteer organization, and your training is not in theater.
No, my training's not in theater because I was early on in my career a school teacher, and I left that to become a social worker, and so I was in that side of the world. But during my life as a social worker in Traverse City, I got involved in the theater, and I found it to be the most marvelous balance between my stressful job and the rest of the world. I could leave work at 5 o'clock, come here, and nobody cared what I did for a living. All they cared about was what we were doing here, and lots of people never knew what I did. To this day, they don't know what I did, you know, and that's fine, because it was
Sure.
like, here's this other world that I can go to and be appreciated and get hugs, because hugs weren't allowed at work.
Well, yeah,
Don't be
not
hugging the
even more.
clients, you know.
Even more now. So tell me about stage management. It's a tough thing to kind of figure out what it really means.
Yeah.
A lot of people have a lot of different ideas. You have a position of stage manager. You've been one for many years now.
Yeah.
So what are you talking stage management? When does that start? How does it all work?
How does the job itself work?
Yeah.
Okay. You begin with auditions, and you sit near with the director during auditions and watch that process. Some directors ask for the stage manager's opinions, and some don't. They want to make their decisions without any extra people's opinions. But I'm there, or the stage manager generally there, for every rehearsal. They're responsible for the building, to lock it up, make sure the fire doors are all closed. Responsible to get actors on stage, very often call the breaks. You know, take 5, it's 7:30, be back at 7:35, and then I round them up and yell, "We're back!" And the director says, okay, I go places for Act 2, and they jump up on stage and we start again. I'm a timekeeper. I write a report every day about what we did last night. And kind of keep an eye on not only what Jan does, because he's directing. I'm working more with the organizational and the technical side of the show. So I stay in close touch with the lighting designer, the sound designer, the set designer, and make sure all of those things are in place, and they're all on time, and they're all gonna work. And if anybody needs help, I try to find them that help. And then when we get close to production, I'm backstage with the headset on, and I'm calling cues, because we write our cues for all the lights and the sound and the set changes and whatever, and has to happen.
So, backstage, you're calling cues. What does that look like? You have a book?
I have a book.
Script?
We do what we call a paper tech.
Okay.
Where we sit down, the director, the stage manager, lighting designer, the sound designer, and any other really important technical person that might be involved. Sometimes, not necessarily costumes, but sometimes the set people. And we go from the very beginning. We say, okay, 7 o'clock, house opens. And the audience is let in. At that moment, there should be a lighting cue that lights up the stage, our preset lights, and there'll be some music from the sound people. And that will go on until either until 7:30, when either we have an orchestra and the conductor comes in, or we start a non-musical show. We cue up the free show speech and we turn those preset lights out. But each one of these steps has a number. And I say to my people, I use warning and standby. And so I'll say, okay, standby, light cue 1, 2, 3, 3.5, and 4. And sound standby 1, 2, and 3. And then I go warning, and warning is when it gets really close. Like several lines away, and then it's go. Go like cue 1, go like cue 2, go sound cue 1, go sound cue 3, just like that through them. And then it's more warning, warnings and standbys, and then it's stage set changes are more hand signals than they are verbal, because it's very often when it's the audience to hear us say, push that thing around. So it's line them up and cross and go now, and somebody's, usually that's pretty much choreographed before the show goes up, so everybody knows what they have to do. And we try to keep set changes really quick, so we don't want audiences sitting with nothing going on the stage.
In the grand scheme of things, the director, we kind of call him God One or God.
Yeah, that's an old tradition here. He's
the
God
artistic
One.
eye.
And then when the show goes up, the stage manager is then in charge of maintaining the continuity of the show.
Okay.
Whatever the director decided was good when he said, blessings on this show, I'm done with the directing part. We try to keep that so that somebody who wore a red hat doesn't come in with a big green one on next week. The director didn't want a big green hat, he wanted the red one.
Right.
Or changing of lines or changing of blocking, which is places on stage. So the stage manager keeps an eye on those things. Keeps an eye on safety, actors' safety, make sure that anything people build is safe, no nails are sticking out, and things are picked up off the floor, and if we need a little light someplace so nobody will trip, make sure that kind of thing happens. So when the show goes up, the stage manager usually got to. Because the director doesn't, at that point in time, have, in theory, much to do. Now, some directors in community theater kind of maintain, they stick around, because they can.
Mm-hmm.
And some I've even known to give notes during performance time. Some do not do that. They just show up for a director call and cheer the cast on each night. Go get them and have a good show.
In the big show, if you will, the Broadway quote unquote, directors are generally never there.
Director's gone by that
Gone
time. Once it
instantly,
goes into
and that's
tech,
what the stage manager does. Keeps that
vision,
high.
that vision, and
Okay.
keeps what that director's vision was. Make sure it stays there.
And that's what the book's for. It
That's
has
what
a
the book
vision
is
in it.
for. That's what.
Sweet.
Yeah, all of watching all the rehearsals and talking to all the people that the director works with. I kind of wander around and listen to what he's telling people. He really likes that chair and not that chair, and he likes this costume and la la la. So I know as close to what his vision is and what is her. Lots of really good female directors.
Right.
And what their vision is, so that I can maintain that during the production.
Okay.
During the production.
Okay. Well, we plenty of stuff to talk about, but we don't have any more time. So you go to rehearsal.
Okay.
I'll go somewhere else.
Okay,
Thanks
Don.
much.
Okay,
Thanks much.
Don. Thank you very much.
Bye bye. Last week we talked about lights over at the Depot Theater, the instruments, and lighting a show, and how we use our Fresnels and our ellipsoids to light our show. Well, we're over at the main stage now, in the main auditorium, playhouse, and we're going to be talking about our light closet here. This is where we store all our instruments when they're not being used on stage. You'll notice that it is pretty empty. We usually have these racks, these pipes loaded with instruments, and right now you can see that we're pretty empty. We don't have many left. Here's our ellipsoids hanging here. We have some floods. We have one ellipsoid and a couple of Fresnels. We also use this, not only is this our light closet where we hang all our electric cabling, but we also store our musical instruments, some drum kits, a couple of timpani way in the back, music stands. It's kind of a catch-all, but this is where we hang the instruments when they're not being used in the show. But as I say, we are using quite a few instruments in this show. Let's get out here onto the balcony, and you can see a post or a pipe, like a 50-pound weight. I don't know if we can see that or not, that this pipe is stuck into, and then you have 4 instruments hanging off it. On the other side, since lighting is almost always an equal kind of 1 and 1, you have to have left and right. We have the other side, and then we on the, I guess we can see it. You can see 2 long lenses and then our 10-inch Fresnels, which provide most of the stage lighting, just general wash lighting. Around the theater balcony, you can see some instruments on our trees. Anything standing upright and hanging onto a wall is called a tree. And then we have some more instruments. We're still not done putting this show up. The show during this this airing, as I'm talking to you now, it should be up and running, but we have plenty of instruments still going. Down on main stage, let's go down there. Here we are on main stage. Oh, there's Brittany. We underneath our deck, which is a 10-foot ceiling, we have all the Fresnels that I talked about that are just local lighting, close-up lighting. And then we have one long instrument there that's going to provide some sort of gobo or something on the main stage. But we will have 2 positions for lights, up on top, because our front lights can't reach all the way back, and then these instruments light up the main stage and give us some color and definition. Now, when you design a show, you design from the audience perspective. Of course, what you see, they will see. And so when we're in the house, we can see on the main stage that the lights come back to us. In the balcony, it's a different view. So during the course of designing a show, we will bring the board downstairs. And so here's our light board downstairs, so we can get an audience perspective of how the show looks in our light plot. When we are done with the before performance, usually 2 days before we open the show, we'll move the board back upstairs into our light booth, which usually from this position we will look out into the house from here, and as you can see, we're some 30 feet in the air. So our perspective of what the lights look like and the way the audience sees this show is different. One of the problems that we have to remember when we're up here is that what we see is not what the audience in the main house is seeing. So we can't start tweaking the show when we're up here saying, oh, I don't see light there, or I don't see light there. It's just a different view. Well, that's it for the May edition of Stage Door. Only 2 things on the calendar. Of course, the audition, Les Miserables, May 2021. Look on the webpage, oldtownplayhouse.com. And Good on Paper, their last performance of the season, May 11th. Opening 10:30 is the doors, 11 o'clock at the performance.